Hello everyone! So today we're going to be talking about the lunar eclipse that is in Pisces, and that peaks on August 28th at 12:12 a.m. Eastern Time. So today we're going to be talking about the lunar eclipse, what makes it different from a normal lunation, some things you can try, some things to avoid, and then I'll go through each of the houses. And I'll also talk about the aspects being made to the full moon or lunar eclipse. So first, let's just jump right into it, and what even is a lunar eclipse? So if you don't know, lunar eclipses are full moons near the nodes, and the nodes are points in the sky where sort of the orbits of the sun and the moon in comparison to the earth meet. So there's the north node and the south node. And there's, as you know, new moons and full moons every month, but what makes it different is that the full moon or new moon is happening near the nodes, those points where they're almost exactly lined up from our perspective. And in astrology, full moons and new moons are associated with certain things. So new moons are often associated with like the new beginnings and planting of seeds, trying new things. And full moons are associated with letting go of things, like looking back and reviewing and seeing what is working and what isn't working. And those points in astrology, the nodes, are associated with like our destiny. It's like where we're meant to go in life. So whenever there's these lunations near the nodes, it's like the normal lunation where it's like the starting of new things or the releasing of things that aren't working, but involving your destiny and where you're meant to grow from, where you're meant to learn from, and where you're meant to go. So that's why solar and lunar eclipses are such a big deal, because it's near the nodes, and that's what those mean in astrology. So because this one on the 28th is a full moon lunar eclipse near the nodes, it is going to involve where you need to release certain ideas and release things so that you can grow in the direction that you're meant to go. In all of my lunation videos, I always talk about how new moons are planting seeds and full moons are harvesting those seeds, like seeing what's going on and stuff. But when it comes to eclipses being involved, it's like a whole garden. Like you're really looking over so much of your life in this time. So solar eclipse, where a new moon, it's like the planting of seeds, but planting a whole garden. And then the full moon would be like harvesting the seeds, and then also looking at like, maybe I want to grow vegetables. Like, do I need to get rid of certain flowers to make room for vegetables or fruits or something? Basically, releasing something that is not working for you to make room for new. But now that you kind of understand that, let's go into what sign the eclipse is going to be in, which is Pisces. And Pisces is such a wonderful sign. I mean, every sign has its pros and cons. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Pisces first. Pisces is the last sign in the zodiac, like in the order, which makes it a really deep sign. It's kind of like where things come to conclusion in general. And it is a mutable water sign. And mutable signs are often like flexible, kind of go with the flow energy, and water signs are really in tune with your emotional world and just how you have your inner world, like what you protect and sort of things like that. The ruling planets of Pisces in modern astrology is Neptune, and then in traditional astrology is Jupiter, which tells you a lot about the sign itself. Because if you look at Neptune, for example, it's all about like your dreams. It's like your intuition. It's sort of not seeing things clearly in the negative aspect of it, but it's really creative in the pros of it. That's kind of like the same exact thing as Pisces. And Pisces is really empathetic. Like if you have placements in Pisces especially, but just wherever Pisces is in your chart, you may feel like you soak up emotions from your surroundings super easily, because Pisces is just like a sponge. You may have like very vivid dreaming or like a creative approach to things in that area of your life. Another positive thing to Pisces is that it's very intuitive. A lot of people with like really strong Pisces placements are super strong in their intuition. I guess that kind of goes hand in hand with like the dreamy sort of vibe that Pisces is, but it's really a sign that tells you to trust your gut. Now there are some cons to Pisces though. I have strong Pisces placements, so I'm super guilty of these things, but Pisces, it's really easy to have like escapism in that part of your life, especially because it's like the dreamy, live in your head a lot thing, it's really easy to want to avoid things when things get complicated. And because it's a mutable sign as well, you feel like you can like adapt or adjust to what is easier for other people. Like you're like, oh, it's fine, I'll just go with it, like, you know. So it can also be hard to have boundaries in that sense. So because this full moon is in Pisces, it is going to be asking you to release something that could involve those things. Like maybe you've been avoiding things, and maybe now is the time to stop avoiding things and start to live in the moment, and don't try to live in your head so much, and like actually bring your ideas into the real world. But before I get into all the things that should be done and whatever during this lunation, I'd like to talk about the aspects that are going to be made to the lunar eclipse, because there are some pretty strong aspects happening. And if you don't know, aspects are the angles that are made to the lunar eclipse in this example. They're like the angles that other planets are making in your chart to it. So with full moons always happen when the sun and moon are opposite of each other. That is the same for this upcoming eclipse. So the themes are always going to be that your emotional world is kind of clashing with your sense of self, because the moon is opposite the sun. But that goes for every full moon, so just something to keep in mind. So right off the bat, the first aspect that I can see is that Mercury is going to be almost exactly conjunct the sun, which makes it a Mercury cazimi. And so a Mercury cazimi always is going to be like a really strong highlight of how you learn and grow and process information. And this is especially strong because Mercury is in Virgo. This is where the sun and Mercury are going to be, and that is where Mercury's home is. Virgo is a sign of like being extremely attentive to details and the same sort of things as Mercury. So it being here, it feels very comfortable here. You may have like a sense of intense mental clarity, or you may have like sudden realizations of certain things, being like, oh my gosh. And this goes really well with the full moon, because Mara is saying how, well, I guess I should say the lunar eclipse, but this goes really well with that, because this is a time to release things. You may have that Mercury mental clarity of like, oh my gosh, I should do this instead. Like this area of my life is taking up too much of my time, so I need to release this. Or like you might have like those sudden realizations. Now the next thing is that Mars is going to be at 10 degrees of Cancer, and the lunar eclipse is going to be happening between like 4 and 5 degrees of Pisces and Virgo. So it's actually going to be sextiling the sun. Mars is loosely, because it's 5 degrees away, but it's okay, it's pretty close. But if you don't know, Mars has been in Cancer, it is right now, and it is pretty crazy, just in the sense that Mars is very like go 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 energy. It's like what motivates you, how you assert yourself. And it being in Cancer is very like emotional and protective and very caring. Lots of people think of Cancer as like the sign that just is super emotional, which it is, but it's more of like a place from care, like you care too much sort of thing. So it's a wonderful thing. But having Mars here, you may feel like really easily frustrated like with your emotions and stuff like that. So like that's just kind of a theme while Mars is in Cancer already. But because it's sextile, they're sort of supporting each other. So I feel like Mars is gonna bring that like logical, like the emotional, like gut feelings to meet with your Virgo, Mercury and Sun mental clarity, I guess. Now, because Mars is in Cancer, it is trining the moon in Pisces. So this is such a supportive energy. It's like really taking your motivation and putting it into your emotions, which is what Mars and the moon stand for. But it's like really letting you have the courage to take up space in those areas of your life, or be confident in your decisions. So like a con of Virgo in general is like to overthink things and like try to process things until they're perfect, sort of. But I feel like the trine between the moon and Mars is going to help you trust yourself a bit more, and it feels like it's a stronger point, like it's going to overcome that struggle with Virgo sometimes, and I think it's more supportive than anything. And of course, again, with Mars, it's like the thing that motivates you and moves you. So it being here and being supported by the sun and the moon is like, I think this is the time where you're gonna be confident in your decision and trust your emotions and feel like this is a good time where you can trust yourself to put yourself first. Now, in the opposite sense, where the moon is going to be sextiling Chiron in Taurus, and it's going to be trining the sun in Virgo. And this is like the exact same thing, but in such like a deep emotional way, because Chiron is all about our wounds or deep vulnerability. It also is like how you can heal. It's often associated with like the term the wounded healer, because it's where you have hurt from and where you are growing from. It's how you learn how to heal others and support others and yourself around you with what you've been hurt from and learned from. I feel like because of their supportive energy, it's going to be a time where you feel like supported to move on from what's been holding you back, especially with like the moon and the sun and the south and north node involved. It's just like, what has truly been keeping you where you've been all this time? Like, where have you been struggling to move to because something is holding you back from the past? Like, where can you let go of, which is whole theme of lunar eclipses in general. What can you let go of and change to catapult yourself into the future you? But overall, just feel secure in your own self-worth. You are worthy. I say this in all my videos, but you are worthy just because you exist. You don't have to prove your worth. You don't have to do anything like that. And this is a really good time to acknowledge that you're worthy of whatever you want because you exist. Now, the biggest aspect is Uranus in Gemini, and it is exactly square the sun. It's also square the moon in Pisces. It's just like a perfect square between the two. But if you don't know, Uranus is the absolute wild card. It is like a wrecking ball in your chart. It's like wherever it goes, it gets rid of the old to make room for the new. It is, you cannot predict it. It's like sudden changes, instability. A lot of times, like, it may feel like something comes out of nowhere and it's like not a good thing, but then what comes from that is a good thing. So it's like, it really gets rid of things that aren't serving a purpose for you anymore. And because it's not a very supportive aspect, being a square, it's sort of maybe like something comes out of nowhere and like completely disrupts your plans, or like something that you don't expect in like a conversation or something just pops up. Especially with the sun and Mercury in Virgo, like trying to plan things out is probably not gonna work here, because that Uranus energy is gonna throw you a wild card and you're not gonna be able to predict it. It may feel like, oh my gosh, like what the heck do I do? But that is part of this lesson, is release the idea that you have to have everything perfect, or like try to learn how to adapt to things and trust that whatever is getting kicked out of your life is for you to grow and learn from. Uranus is always, but especially in this case because it's square, going to force you to adapt and adjust, and you can't really trust it to be a secure thing. So just be aware of that, keep that in mind, and just try to go with the flow with like the Pisces mutable energy is that you want to be able to embrace that like adapting type of thing. Now that we've talked about all the aspects being made to the lunar eclipse during this time, I want you to pull up your chart and we're going to go into how this eclipse is going to affect each house, and maybe some things that you can try during this time depending on what house it's in for you. And before I get into that, I'm going to explain really quick how to figure out which house it is in for you. So first things first, you're gonna want to look up your birth chart, which you can just look up free birth chart calculator and type in your birthday, time, place, and then once you have your chart pulled up, it's gonna be a bunch of crazy stuff on the circle, but don't worry. Basically, the circle is split up into 12 different pieces, and those are different areas of your life. Those are called houses, which is what I'm going to be talking about. You'll want to look for the Pisces symbol, and you can go to change like the current day to August 28th at 12:12 a.m. See where the sun and the moon are opposite of each other on the outside. I'll put a little picture so you can reference it. This is going to be like just a random chart, so it may not look like this for you, but this is how you find out what house it's in. So you'll want to find Pisces, and then you want to find what Pisces it is in. So like in this example, it is in the 3rd house, so just for reference. Now jumping right into it, let's talk about the 1st house. So if you have Pisces in your 1st house, this is your area of life that involves your sense of self. It is your appearance. It is how you come across to other people, like how you introduce yourself and things like that. This is a really important place to have a lunar eclipse because it's in your 1st house. I feel like it could be like there's sort of a tug of war between who you feel like you want to be versus how you expect or how you think others expect you to be, since the 1st and 7th houses are opposite. And I think that is very important to see who do you want to be and how can you be more confident in who you are. Now with the sun and Mercury being in your 7th house and it being opposite Pisces, the moon, in your 1st house, it's going to be like, I feel it could bring like people in your life trying to put their like problem-solving energy into you, and this is a time where you put yourself first and practice saying no and practice placing boundaries. So if someone asks something of you and you just genuinely don't want to do it, just say no, I don't want to do that. It's fine. Just saying no is enough of a reason itself. You don't owe anyone a full-on explanation for it. And if someone expects that of you, even after you say no, then they're not for you because they are not respecting you. So it can be a good time to practice saying no without like over apologizing for it or like just saying no just to say no. But because again, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, so it's very in tune with like your deep dreams and subconscious mind and stuff like that. So it's a really good time to like take a bath, take self-care day, like change up your style, like really embrace like what makes you you. And Pisces is also super creative, so it can be a good time also to try and put yourself out there in a creative way. Like if you like to draw or if you like to dance, like anything creative, like take advantage of that and let people see that version of you. Now, if this is in your 2nd house, your 2nd house is all about what you value. It can be like your finances, it's also your self-worth, like anything that you take value in. So I think during this time, it is very important that you trust your self-worth. Like I was saying before, feel secure in your value, like spend time strengthening your skills, anything that you are passionate about or creative, because Pisces is so creative. Like put a price tag on your art or your dances. Make a TikTok account and start putting that stuff out there. And because the 2nd house is often associated with money, having Pisces here, you might have like a sort of like, for lack of a better word, delusional, like a very not seeing so clearly view of your money. So it can be a good time to start to try and bring a little bit of that Virgo energy into how you budget and how you plan your money. Like start a new budget and of course be patient with yourself and stuff, but it can be a good time to start like setting money aside for things like that. Now if this is in your 3rd house, the 3rd house is all about how you communicate, how you grow, and how you just like process information. It's like also can be close distance like travel. It's the things that you interact with in your immediate surroundings. It also can be like siblings, so it could be before how it can be that you have trouble setting boundaries in this place. Set a boundary with your sibling or try and put that like creative energy of Pisces into how you think and how you grow. It could be a good time to like brain dump, just write everything that's in your mind. Like instead of trying to process everything in a perfect way, just write everything down with no rules. Just write whatever the heck you think. But also because Pisces is so involved in like your deep subconscious mind, a lot of times like meditation can be really good in the Pisces part of your life. So because the third house is short distance travel, it can be like you change up your commute to work and take like a peaceful route, or if you're able to, ride a bike to work, or just go on a walk and explore your surrounding areas and like make it whimsy and super nice, and but do it by yourself because Pisces is so like in your head. Just appreciate everything by yourself. And because the third house in Pisces, it can be like you don't see things super clearly. So if you receive like a text, or there's like a conversation that you're having or something, just try to give yourself some time to process before you immediately respond. Because Pisces is still a water sign, it's still in tune with your emotions and stuff. It can be really quick to, like, it's super important to trust your gut, but it can be quick to assume that is 100% right. So take a minute, trust your gut, listen to it, of course, but really see like, okay, is what I'm thinking, is that actually right? Like, do I need to say this? Or like, maybe I shouldn't respond harshly. I don't know, whatever it is, just try and take your time with it. Now, if Pisces is in your fourth house, this is like a tug of war between the area of your life where the sun is, which is your 10th house, and where your moon is in Pisces in your fourth house. And fourth house is all about like your inner world, your safe space. It's like your home, your roots, like your parents. Being opposite, the 10th house is sort of like a clashing energy between your need to like have rest and have that private time versus how everyone else sees you in your public image and stuff, which is the 10th house. Now, sometimes it's not often, but sometimes having actual eclipses in water signs can actually lead to like water troubles in your home, especially in the fourth house. So it's really something that you might want to keep an eye out for, but also in the sense that your home is like a lot of your emotional world, and it's like where you feel comfortable. So it can be good to like clear things out, like check your plumbing, clean your bathroom, like stuff like that, like make your space feel like comforting to you. Now, with the Uranus energy that brings like the sudden change, it may be kind of fun to just like go and buy a piece of art for your home, or buy a new piece of furniture, or just make your home reflect your Pisces self. Your Pisces self wants a comfortable and cozy place to curl up in bed or whatever it is. So you want to make sure that that is reflected in your home, especially if you come home and you're super comfortable and you love your home, and that is going to reflect on your life outside of your home. Because if you feel comfortable and recharged every time that you are at home, then that's going to really help you have the energy to approach your day-to-day outside, which will in turn help your 10th house. Now, because of the releasing factor of lunar eclipses, it could be really good to look at like where in your life you have been keeping like family trauma, or like old expectations of you, and it's kind of like holding you back still. So write down like whatever it still has a hold on you, especially in your home life, like something involving your parents, or anything like expectations you think you have of yourself. Write it down and burn it, or let it drift away in like a river. Take a peaceful walk and just let it go. Make a little area of your life support your emotional energy during this time, especially with Chiron involved. It can be very emotional to have a lunar eclipse here, but that is perfectly fine, and you want to support that. So like maybe make a little quiet corner in your room, just sit on the floor, grab blankets and pillows, and just curl up by yourself and listen to whatever music, meditate, cry, whatever you want. Now, if you have Pisces in your 5th house, this is a really interesting placement already, because Pisces is a lot to do with your imagination and stuff, and the 5th house is your creativity, is your joy, it's how you find pleasure in things, and a lot of times just things that you create in general. So if you do have like creative things that you do already, your area of life where creativity is ruled by your imagination and that Pisces energy. If you don't already, it could be good to embrace those artistic abilities that you probably have, and that can be anything from like dance, creativity in like dance, or like just crafts in general, or art, anything like that. But if you do already do that, try and see like where does it feel like a chore to do those kinds of things. Like, do you really secretly like love doing some form of art that you don't want to admit that you like, but then when you do the one that you do feel like you should like, then you feel like more drained than doing a different type of art or whatever. Like, this is a time to embrace what you love and nurture that version of yourself. You want to release the idea that you have to do things a certain way or anything like that. Like, embrace your imagination. It would be really good during this time, I think, if you just take out like a piece of paper or a sketchbook or something like that and don't set rules for yourself. Just draw. Literally, just if you want to paint it all blue and then like green little dots or whatever the heck you want to do, like just let your imagination flow and let it go. Make sure you do it for you, like whatever you want to do. Just embrace the fact that you, like your imagination and everything that you think and process, you want to nurture what you feel is right, and that's really important. And also the fifth house rules like dating and stuff, so it can be a good time to place a boundary on your dating life or your romance and stuff like that. Like, have a serious conversation about where you stand on something. And like I was saying earlier with Cancer and Pisces energy here and Mars being in Cancer, trust your gut and trust that what you feel is justified because you feel that way. And it's perfectly fine to place a boundary if something makes you uncomfortable or if something just rubs you the wrong way. Whatever it is, just trust that you feel that way for a reason and don't apologize for it. Now, if this is in your sixth house, the sixth house is all about your day-to-day routines, your work, your health. It's sort of like, it can also be your pets, by the way. How you approach your day-to-day life. Like, do you every single morning wake up at 5 a.m. to do Pilates, like something like that will be in the sixth house. So with Pisces here and it being a lunar eclipse, it can be a really good time to like purge expectations of your day-to-day. Like, if you are totally drained by doing one part of your day every single time, like get rid of it. Try and approach it in a different way. Try, like, if you have to do it, let's say it's like your work is draining you, start applying to new jobs or make your commute to work more fun. Take a bike to work if you can. Make it like whimsy and fun, or drive to work in a different way, like take a different route or something. But you really want to protect your energy. Like, this is the most important thing to keep in mind with this eclipse, is trust your gut, and whatever is draining you for a reason. Now, because the sixth house has a lot to do with like your body and your fitness and health, it can be really good to book like a massage or like a spa day. Like, get the like stagnant energy out, get the knots out of your body. Go spend some time at a pool if you want, like just lay in the water. And that's so like Pisces, you know, with water sign, but like just let yourself relax and get rid of the energy that is holding you back. And like I've been saying with the other houses, Pisces, you want to place a boundary during this time. So if you've been saying yes to more work, or if you're doing things that put you out of your comfort zone, place a boundary. Put yourself first for a minute. Even if it's just for the day of the eclipse, try and put yourself first just the one time, and then you're gonna see how much more recharged you are approaching your day-to-day because you put yourself first. It can also be a good time to like clear off your space, clear off your desk. Make sure that your home and your workspace or anything like that is a clean, fresh start to your day every day. Now, if Pisces is in your seventh house, this is a very important time for you because the seventh house rules your one-on-one relationships, like your serious commitments. It can also be like business partners or like your best friend. It's like the one-on-one type of thing. So having Pisces here in general, it's sometimes can be hard to place boundaries in your relationships. So first things first, place a boundary. It doesn't matter how small, how big. If the person really cares about you, they will respect it. Don't try to like over function or over give or just do things because you feel like your partner wants that or because you feel like you have to. Try to just put that energy that you would put into overgiving into yourself and you'll see how much more giving in general comes easily if you put energy into yourself first. Especially with Mercury and the Sun being conjoined in your first house, it's a really good time to practice putting yourself first. Like, you may be able to literally communicate that better with Mercury, like just being able to communicate like, I don't feel comfortable with this, or I would prefer if we did this, or whatever it is. It can be a really good time to release the idea that you can't do that, because you totally can, and this is a good time to practice. It can also be good to have like a solo date for yourself. I know that this is the house with relationships and how you communicate with other people and stuff, but it can be good to nurture the version of yourself that feels like you have to give all this energy into other people. So like, go to the movies by yourself or something, like just go on a little walk, like whatever it is that you need, just do something by yourself so you can be at peace, and that will also give you a break from like any tension or anything with your relationships. Now, if this is in your 8th house, the 8th house is all about really deep transformations, and it's like things that you can't control, and other people's money, other people's finances, debts, loans, inheritances. And of course, it's not just like money, it's like deep changes in you. But because there is loans and debts and stuff here, it can be a good time to pay off those loans and debts if you have the ability to. But this is such an important time for you because of the eclipse wanting you to release things, and the 8th house being about like deep changes. It's like kind of asking you, where do you need to change in your life so that you can keep going forward and move forward into like a new version of yourself that you've really wanted to be for a long time, but something's holding you back. Like, this is a time to release it. Think about what the worst things that would happen if you did change versus the best things. Like, how do they outweigh each other? And because it's such like a deep part of your mind, a lot of times the 8th house is associated with therapy or like meditation, so it could be a really good time to meditate. Like, just go outside, sit by the water like a river or whatever, and just breathe, sit by yourself and think about those topics. Where can you change? Where can you grow? What exact steps do you need to take to become the future version of yourself? And physically disconnect yourself from the space that you're used to. Like, go somewhere, do something that by yourself in quiet, and physically and then mentally disconnect from the version you were. Cut the ties. You are a new version of you. Embrace the transformations. Now, the 9th house is all about like out there learning. It's like other cultures, long distance travel. It's like other perspectives, really broadening your mind. So during this time, because the lunar eclipse involves like releasing things, it can be a really important time to step away from things that don't service you anymore. Like, if you are in the middle of a course and you're like, oh my gosh, like I really am realizing that I don't like learning this or whatever, because the 9th house has a lot to do with like higher education, this is time to step away from it. The sooner you step away from what you don't like, the sooner you can step into what you do like, and you're only stalling that time, you know? So this is the best time to take the first step away and start making progress towards what you care about. Now, also, if you have like a trip coming up, I think with Uranus involved, you may want to like double check everything. Uranus squaring could be like that something like changes up really quickly out of nowhere, or like your flight changes or something, so double check that kind of thing. But with Pisces, honestly, this is such a good placement anyways. Having Pisces in your 9th house, you want to embrace like seeing other cultures and broadening your mind, and let your Pisces energy of just having a strong imagination and being curious about things, and let that take you into learning more and seeing other cultures, or book a trip. And that actually reminds me that I've seen like lots of people go on trips to heal themselves, or where they just like book a solo trip and they go on like a healing journey sort of thing, and that would be so freaking awesome to do during this time if you have the ability to, or at least start planning it. Like, it can be fun to just look up like, where can I go to heal myself, like whatever you feel like. You can also look into astrocartography, try and learn about it and see where in the world you would feel more like healed, or go wherever your like certain lines are. All in all, for the 9th house, you want to make sure that you are supporting the version of you that wants to grow, if there's something you're curious about, something that you want to expand upon or learn about, take advantage of it. If you want to learn it, trust your gut, do what makes you happy. Now, the 10th house is all about your public image. It's your career. It's how other people see you in the world. It's like very much your public self. This is a really interesting placement because I feel like with this lunar eclipse, you might be at sort of a tug of war between the Virgo part of your house, or of your chart, which is your 4th house, and that is going to be like where you need rest, and versus like the demands that your 10th house is having for you, like how you have this idea of how other people see you and like these expectations you have for yourself, and this is the time to release that. Like if your career or whatever it is draining you, start looking at other places, start applying to new jobs, start applying to things that would really nurture you. Like, what do you care about? Don't think about what other people expect of you or anything like that. Try to think about what matters to you. And Pisces being here could be super creative, like I've been saying, like in the other houses. It's that Pisces is like, maybe you need to embrace that creative or imaginative energy in your 10th house, like in your career. And if you do like your career, that's fantastic. Maybe it can be a good time to change how your like resume looks or your socials for like professionalism and stuff like that. Like change how you brand yourself, how other people see you. Like release any idea that you have to be a certain way. Now with the Mercury and the Sun involved, and then Uranus squaring things, it could be that decisions that are come out of nowhere, that's like an important conversation with your work or something like that, where it's like kind of sudden because of Uranus. Just make sure to take your time before you respond to things. Really trust your Pisces intuition and trust your Pisces gut, but let yourself think first. Like take advantage of the Mercury and Sun in Virgo. Read into the details, be like, okay, is this like, how do I want to respond to this? Because your gut might be like, oh my gosh, I need to be angry or I need to be patient, whatever. And place boundaries for yourself, have some self-worth, and if something makes you uncomfortable, really think on it for a moment and then approach it and say, I don't feel comfortable doing that, whatever it is, that sort of thing. So if this is in your 11th house, the 11th house is all about your communities. It's your social groups. Like if you are in school, it's your classmates, or if you go to the gym a lot, it's the people in the gym that you say hi to and stuff. So with this lunar eclipse here, it could be like a tug of war between the 11th house and the 5th house of creativity and what you create and your passions and stuff like that. So I think that you may have like a tug of war between like what you think that your place in the collective should be versus things that you want to do for yourself. Pisces here, it can, and then like the trine to Cancer in with Mars, it could be asking you to place a boundary in those places. Like if you have been kind of like forcing yourself to live into your friend group's expectations of you or something, like if they ask you to do something you're not comfortable with, just say no. You can ghost all of them. If they are not for you, then that is totally fine. This is the time to release things that are holding you back. You can join groups and stuff online that support what you care about. So like if you feel like your friends are not supporting what you love, go online. If you really love like photography or a certain game, join a Discord or a Reddit group and just make friends online, even, or in person. Join a book club or something, because there are people who care about the same things as you, and they are going to make you feel so much more confident and comfortable with those things that you love. And with Uranus involved, there could be like sudden rumors or something that comes out of nowhere, and you want to like fact check things before you assume with your Pisces intuition that things are going a certain way. It can be really easy, of course, to feel frustrated with something that you hear, but then really think about it and think about, maybe this friend group is not for you. Maybe you just need to release this friend group with the lunar eclipse and prioritize yourself. That is the whole main thing of the eclipse anyways, is put yourself first, place the boundary, like embrace what makes you happy. Now the 11th house is also the future. It could be a good time to take that Pisces imagination into your goals and like where do you want to be in the future? Like, how can you release something that is stopping you from being the version of yourself you want to become? Now, the 12th house, if you have Pisces in your 12th house, this is such a wonderful placement because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It is at home in the 12th house, and it being here, you want to nurture your inner worlds, like your deepest parts of you that even you can't see that well, like your subconscious mind, your dreams, everything like that. You want to nurture that. So because it's opposite Virgo in your 6th house of like really being attentive to details in your day-to-day life, and the sun being there and Mercury is like a huge focus on that area of your life right now, but the moon wants you to really take time to heal the part of you that wants to be in your home. Like, if you want to rest and surrender, let that happen. Let the Pisces energy like just comfort you in the deepest parts of you. But you also want to release the idea that you may take part in escapism really easily. And so it's really important to acknowledge that and try to slowly move out of that comfort zone that you have for yourself. And because Pisces is all about your dreams, and so is the 12th house, it can be a good time to buy like a little journal and write down your dreams. Try and like figure out what they mean, or take a long bath. Like, this is all about like healing your like deep mind. Do shadow work. Release the ideas or like the old habits that you don't even think about, that you have like limiting beliefs on yourself for. Release that. Try and combat against it. Especially with it trining Mars and Cancer, it's like, where can you push yourself with the Mars motivation in the water sign? Where can you put yourself first and start to realize, okay, maybe I can do this? Because like I catch myself all the time being like, oh, like I really want to do this, but no, I can't. Like, why can't I do that? I can do anything. You can do anything. Just believe in yourself and your self-worth. Like, you can do anything you put your mind to. But all in all, that is it for all the houses. And so basically, no matter what, trust in yourself, trust your intuition, release the thing that is holding you back from the version of yourself that you want to become. Pisces especially wants you to trust your intuition. See what is working for you, what isn't working for you, what is holding you back. Release it, release it. Let yourself change. Let this change the trajectory of your life, truly. But yeah, this is the best time for that. Like, please take advantage of this energy and really prioritize yourself. Like, what matters to you for a reason. There is no one that should be able to take that away from you. But that is it. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments and I will try my best to help. I would love to know where this eclipse is happening for you, and since this is like the end of Pisces eclipses, I'd love to hear about how the other eclipses went for you in the Pisces part of your life. But yes, and if you want to support me, you can subscribe or like the video, and every like and subscription really means a lot to me. And I also have designs that I post on Redbubble or on my TikTok shop, where I have like sweatshirts and stuff that are like astrology designs, so you can check that out if you'd like to. But other than that, happy eclipse season, and I hope this goes well for everyone, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye!